All right, there we go. Hey, what's going on, everyone? Matt Gular from the Lazy Lab Podcast, your host. And with me today are two new hosts of the show, which we're going to get into. You're probably scratching your head going, what the heck is this guy talking about right now? But I got with me, of course, El Presidente Matt Mitchelson, that you know from the Matt and Matt show. And I also have Mark Gular. So, gentlemen, welcome to the show.
Great to be here. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely.
Outstanding.
Mitch, what's up, man?
Not much, buddy. How are you this fine Navy day, huh?
Air power, bud. Air power. No, so there's news. There's things happening in the Lazy Lab world, specifically regarding the podcast show, and we need to talk about that stuff because folks are probably wondering right now as they're tuning in, going, I don't understand. Well, now we had one host. Now we have three hosts. We have people don't like change. We'll start it from there. Like, now you're changing up my show here, and I don't like that. It's like the whole "Who Moved My Cheese" thing. So we need to discuss the "Who Moved My Cheese" portion of the show. So I can start from my aspect of this, guys, and that is, life gets very busy. We want to continue to provide a lot of different aspects of our services that Lazy Lab Hunting Club provides and what this show provides for people. And in order to bring more content, in order to bring more value to the viewer, it made sense to be able to, diversify the number of hosts that we have so that we can provide new lenses and new topics of conversation and all this fun stuff that just me will not be able to do on his own, right? And so now we have three hosts. Mitch, over to you. I mean, honestly, you're the brainchild here. Three hosts, brainchild. You're the leader. You're the one that came up with this fantastic vision of a triad of hosts. So what's the thinking here?
No, absolutely. Thanks for that intro, Matt. And you're absolutely right. I mean, with the feedback that we have received from previous shows that you have hosted, we've had obviously some wonderful guests, being veterans, being leaders within industry. People want more. They want to see more content. They want to see what is Lazy Lab not only doing from our ministry sense and how we're going to be propelling our ministry and all the things we're doing for people again in calendar year 22, but they want to hear more from other leaders in industry. They want us to do discussions on salute to services and understanding why we're helping the heroes that we are. So it makes sense in order to get as much high quality content out there as we can to bring in individuals like Mr. Mark Gular, who the audience will meet here in a moment. We're also going to have two common special guest co-hosts. So that being, everyone's very familiar with two of them. That's going to be Chaplain Tim Fari, who will come on board for a lot of our faith-based shows, faith-based discussions. And then also Dynamite Dave. Dynamite Dave's going to be back. So
anyone who knows Dynamite, he goes like this when he introduces.
Like he does. And so he'll be coming on board as a guest co-host for all of our Army related topics, all of our veteran related topics. The audience, I don't want to give anything away, but the shows and the leaders that we have on the schedule right now for calendar year 22 is going to blow you away. I'm very excited. Obviously, I'm always excited about what we're doing. So yeah, that's really the whole thought process.
He does.
Doesn't he stay up like Mark? Doesn't he stay excited?
He stays excited. He's always pumped and always enthusiastic.
So tell us more about Mr. Gular there, so you can see his tag down there and his name at Mr. Gular. Tell us more about yourself and how you got roped in by Mr. Enthusiasm, president of LLHC.
Sure. So, hey, what's up, Lazy Labbers? My name is Mark Gular, born and raised in Northern California, the Bay Area. And keeping with the theme of everybody here on the host, I am a veteran myself. I served in the United States Navy and continue to currently serve right now in the reserves as a petty officer first class at a River Marine unit out of Coronado. The reason why I brought on was I currently am a graduate student with Mr. Matthew Mitchelson there at the University of Southern California. Go Trojans. And he asked me to come on board for me to, have this opportunity to expand my, media and social media presence. And he said, hey, I have this awesome podcast that we're doing and we would like to diversify. And we would like to bring you on as an associate podcast host and give us some, new insights, new perspective, and see what I can bring to the team. So I'm definitely glad to be here.
Boom. Love it. And I love the lazy labbers, man. How have I never said that on the show? I've been doing this for how long?
That was
Never
awesome.
said lazy labbers. Day one on the job, Gular. You're already off to a hot start. So no, this is awesome stuff. And trust me, I mean, the help is much needed. I don't know if you could see, but Mitchelson's been driving me so hard on this podcast. I got gray hair now.
I see.
Yeah, it's terrible. It's really not terrible. It's been a great experience. I love the fact that we're gonna be able to offer more for folks. Mr. Dynamite Dave will be a more regular part of at least the episodes that I do, for sure. That's something that, going back to, you're probably wondering like why it says at Vet Pivot next to my name. That's where Mitchelson found me, was off in the depths of doing the Vet Pivot podcast a long time ago. And Dynamite Dave was a big part of that. We've since shut that show down, and that's how I found my way to Lazy Lab podcast and started to launch that for the nonprofit. And it's been great. It's really been great. It's a very cool mission that we have here, relating things to loving God and loving people and outdoor therapy, and how can we drive that into the lives of veterans and really help them out and make a difference through exposing them to the great outdoors, hunting and fishing, fellowship, all this fun stuff that we get to offer. And you'll realize, Mark, Mitch, if I ever get you back out on an event that we do through the nonprofit, it's really a special time, and it's a lot of fun. And you really can't capture that anywhere else other than through conversations, because that's where the magic happens with what we do, is the ability to talk to people, which is why having this podcast is such a good idea. Mitch, I'm going to throw it to you for some ideas and thoughts there.
Oh, Mark, go ahead, buddy. Go ahead.
No, go ahead, Mark.
Go ahead, Whit.
Go ahead, Mark. Thoughts and ideas. Go ahead. What do you think?
Thoughts and ideas. Well, for me, I love the fact that how we are all aligned in the same mission about helping veterans. I'm super, passionate about mental health myself. And through this therapy, we're allowed to, serve and continue to serve the veteran community. And me being an Iraq war veteran, that's something that's very, personal and hits home with me, because, after coming back from serving, X amount of months overseas, that's when, the transition really does start to happen for that veteran, and going through that dark place. And as they continue to, transition outside the service, that's one of the most darkest times a service member will go through, is transitioning from active duty back into the civilian sector. And for us here at Lazy Lab to, provide that service for them really, gives them that aspect that, hey, there's still a sense of community on the outside. Hey, there's still people out there who care about veterans, and there's, like-minded individuals who are going through the same things that we are going through. And then we can share that experience together through this, outstanding service that you guys offer.
Yeah, there's definitely there's a lot to unwrap when it comes to getting out of the military, transitioning out of the military. Whatever nomenclature you want to apply to it. The fact of the matter is, you were once doing this thing that you are no longer doing, and there's this gap there that you have to address and acknowledge. And it's a journey for everyone, and how long it takes them to bridge that gap is going to depend on the individual. The good part is that there are resources available to help, like a Lazy Lab hunting club.
Yeah. Just a quick on resources. Just want to quickly touch on the, with you guys providing, these dogs and everything. It's so great and beneficial, because recently Matt presented to us an opportunity in our class a few weekends ago. And he said that, hey, we have this service member. We're a little bit short on, providing, funding to get this guy this dog. And right there, then on the spot, we were able to raise what he needed, and we exceeded it just a little bit more. And on top of that, just to ice the cake a little bit, our professor matched all the veterans in our class's donation just so we can get this guy his dog. So that's what, really hit home for me about, coming on board and aligning with your guys' mission on paying it forward.
Holy smokes. Mitch, I don't even think we talked about this, man.
Surprise, Matt K.
Surprise. Yeah, buddy, there's a lot, unfortunately, I don't get, we all live busy lives, right? And COVID, I think, has severely impacted the way we do business, not just within, as lazy labbers, I'm going to use that term a lot. I love that, Mark. But yeah, there's just, there are some challenges associated with this COVID environment. And if we're not communicating through Zoom calls or voice calls, text messages, it's just, there's a lot. There's a lot that's going in the world of Lazy Lab, Matt. And it's not just the service dog piece. It's not just the outdoor therapy piece. We're still looking forward to driving that South Carolina housing initiative. We're still going to drive the Good Smoke label so we can provide free barbecued lunches at VA hospitals and clinics. There's a lot under our corporate brand, and not to get into too many of the specifics of the business strategy of Lazy Lab, but we have our corporate brand, which is Lazy Lab Hunting Club. And then we have our various master brands underneath, our missions, if you will, under the ministry. Yeah. And I am just very excited, again, for yourself, for Mark and I and our guest co-host to come on board and talk about these mission sets with leaders in industry. And again, how it always ties back to the therapy that we provide at Lazy Lab Hunting Club.
That's an amazing thing to see the look on the veteran's face. I mean, I've been on the last two big hunts that we've done this year. The one out in California with Bitterwater Outfitters, and also the one at Premier Whitetail in Ashland, Ohio. And just the look on the face of the veteran in that moment, they're not thinking about anything other than the hunt, anything other than being like in the moment.
Yeah.
And it's a super powerful thing that I'm very fortunate that I get to witness, I get to be part of, I get to have those conversations with them. This last one in Ohio, the Marine brought his family with him, so his wife and their young son, who was a treat. I mean, I think the kid almost took his first steps at a Lazy Lab event, which was like,
so awesome.
Was really, really cool. You know what I mean? Almost. I don't think he did though. So we can't really claim it, but we can say we helped advance it. Right. I think we would probably say that without stepping over too many lines. It was a good time. It was a very, very good time. And to see the appreciation on their face, hey, we don't get to do things like this. We don't get the opportunity to have these types of events given to us. Usually the service will say, hey, you're doing this. And it's like something really not desirable. You're like, oh, great, cool. Like, hey, I get to go to this event, but you're going to be in the back and you won't be able to see the event. You'll just be doing like security types, whatever. Like it's never like, hey, you are the subject of this event that we want to just honor you and thank you and take care of you and show you love, and that's really at the core of it all. That's the basis of what we do at Lazy Lab.
Yeah, very, very well put, Matt. I mean, one of the key terms that Chaplain Tim Farry and I spoke about, and he I don't want to say he coined, but one thing that really has struck a chord in me for the last 2+ years that I've known Tim is this idea of work-based theology, right? So I've said it from the beginning, we serve God by loving people. We are a faith-based organization, and it's all about walking the talk. Just like you said, you can talk about serving others, you can talk about, helping people in any manner whatsoever, but until you put action behind those words, you're not actually helping and serving people. So, again, guys, I get tongue-tied. I get so excited about what's going on this show, what we have coming on down the pipe in 22. I mean, but we're not done, Matt. We've got some great shows lined up for the rest of this year. We have some amazing fishing trips to end up the year. We've got the Army-Navy football game, and stand by for that. Lazy Labbers, you are going to see some incredible guests on that. So
go Army, beat Navy, I think is what you said, Matt.
Whoa, shit, Nate. Whoa. Those are fighting words there. So.
Oh, man, that's okay. Aim high, fly, fight, win. I can't remember what happened when the Air Force Academy played the Naval Academy this year.
Ooh. Too soon, buddy. Too soon.
Oh, we won. Oh, got it. Yeah, that's right. Now I remember. It's all coming back. That's all come back. For us, it's like we win and then we just move on to the next one, and that's, whatever. That's just
Okay.
business, There's going to be some
We'll have
changes
words after
though.
this.
There's gonna be some changes to the format of the show, just slight changes that you may notice. We just want to go through some of these notes. First and foremost, we're going to try and be a little more disciplined about the length of the show. So we're going to keep it to if we can, a maximum of 30 minutes. Try to be respectful of people's time. One of the reasons why we have 3 hosts now is because we're trying to be respectful of our own time, right? So, and it's one of those things that, like, let's practice what we preach here. So be respectful of your time. We're going to keep it to, a 30-minute show, provide you with uninterrupted show. We may have a few ad reads at the front of the show, thanks to some very generous donors and sponsors that are helping us run the show, keep the lights on, and also contribute to the different events that we have throughout the year. So you may notice that as well. It's just part and parcel with what happens with podcasting. It should be expected. And, the other piece of this is we have new hosts, right? So we've introduced them. We've got Matt and we've got Mark, and they're new to podcasting in general, right? So there's going to be an element of learning curve there, right? They're going to have their own style, and they've been, encouraged to bring their own flavor to the show, bring their own style, how they talk to guests, how they run the show. So it's going to be different depending on who you get, right? And that's good, right? That's what we want. When we talk about diversifying the show, we want to be able to have new opinions, new perspectives, new ways of hosting a conversation. Gets you new information that I may not be able to extract, that Matt might not be able to extract, but Mark might be able to get, and vice versa, right? So it's going to allow so many different lenses into what we do in the mission we have. We're very excited about that. The thing that is going to be consistent, I'm getting tongue-tied now as I'm trying to be mindful of time and get through this and hit all the high points, is that we are going to try and stick to that one a week as best we can. Sometimes we may miss a week because of operational commitments and what have you, but for the most part, we're going to try and stick to one a week, with the understanding that podcasting, like, we're all volunteers doing this, right? So we're giving up our own personal time outside of work, away from our families, to record these sessions. And so our guests are doing the same thing. We don't pay guests to come on the show and be part of the show, right? They're doing that as a volunteer basis. They're coming in, they're going to provide their personal time away from work, away from their families and other commitments. And so understanding that sometimes things come up and we have to reschedule, or we have to delay, and that can have an impact on how regularly we get to release. So if you don't see something from one week to the next, bear with us. We haven't gone anywhere. We haven't disbanded. The band hasn't broken up. We just are dealing with operational commitment issues and trying to make it work in a very flexible, day and time that we live in now. So any thoughts on that, or any contributions to that thread, Matt or Mark?
I mean, for me, I think it's going to be great to have, a different variety and, different perspectives with these new co-hosts for the show, just to, see what we have to offer and what we had to, bring to the table. And it allows us to, connect with our lazy labbers and see, what they're looking for. We already have a set show of what we want to talk on, but maybe they want to see more of this, less of that. And, just here, we're all learning and through this experience, and, we're always open to suggestions.
We are open to suggestions, right? Good, bad, or indifferent. Yes. We will take your suggestion. If it's bad, we'll still love you. We just may not talk to you as much. If it's good, then we may invite you along to continue to watch and share with your friends and tell people. That's obviously the best way you can help the nonprofit and help the show, is to share it along and grow that subscriber base, so that we get more and more followers, brings more exposure, allows us to help more veterans. That's the train of logic there. Mitch. Yeah, exactly.
No, gentlemen, you've said everything perfectly. So, the more exposure we get to the show, the more content that we can get out. I mean, ultimately, we can serve more veterans, active duty personnel, and their family. That's what this is all about: serving God by loving people. So,
bingo, nailed it. and really excited about this and what the year has ahead for us on doing things this way. Always looking to learn, adapt, and to get better. Not getting cozy in any one way or format of doing the show is good, right? It helps keep it fresh, and we keep trying to provide more value to the viewer, which is ultimately for their benefit and ours.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Did I miss anything? I know we're bumping up against our time that we had before we started. Am I missing anything that we want to make mention of before we log off?
You know, Matt, I do want to say, and I don't get the opportunity to say this often on the air with you, but I do want to give a shout out to Obora Coffee Roasters. I know that you were probably going to do that at the end there. I may be jumping the gun here, but I do want to say thank you so much to Mr. Phillip and your team, your staff there at Ubora. You really do help us continue with keeping this show going. And so I tip my hat to you, gentlemen. If I had a hat, I'd tip it to you. I'll give you a salute right now, but you guys are wonderful, and we thank you so much for your contributions.
Providing the caffeine for the hunts, man. That's what they do. That's what they do. And man, is that coffee good? I think the last time I had it was in Georgia earlier this year for that hunt, and I think I drank like 7 cups of coffee.
Oh,
like
wow.
I was in the tree stand like this, and not because it was cold. It was like, it's just so good. I just kept drinking it, but it was a good time.
Well, right, Matt, you're going to have, I'm sorry. I was just going to say you're going to have more because they are sponsoring the show and tailgate for the Army Navy game this year. So you'll be able to enjoy some more of that wonderful cup of Joe there.
More jitters. I'll be representing the Air Force and be like, stuck out in the crowd there. It'll be interesting. It'll be interesting. I'm excited about it as a non-partial third party observer of the shenanigans that go on at an Army Navy game. I'm looking forward to that. Listen, it's we're at time. It's been really, really fun. I'm excited about what we have looking ahead, and I'm excited for the viewers. Like, holy smokes, you're in for a real treat. Lazy Labbers. I love that. I love that. I'm going to get a tattoo, forehead, Lazy Labber. Maybe not do that, but definitely looking forward to it. We're going to close it down now. Thank you everyone so much for tuning into this episode. Probably classify this as like general announcement, or maybe throw it under the Matt and Matt category. But folks will be able to find it. I'll throw it up on the YouTube channel here soon. And until the next time, stay safe and God bless.